Go for a thirsty Thursday, double shot Thursday, as we used to say in the radio land. Today with Mitch Ray. It's been a while. It's been 6 or 7 weeks since we've sat together. I think it was Cinco de Mayo, actually, so maybe like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, but it seems a little too long. We're going to bring Mitch in here in a second and get into how we're all feeling. How's everybody doing today? Big shout out to everyone in the chat. And welcome. Great to see everybody. David, James, Poopsie, Bino, Fulgor, Flavo, XYZ, Mars, Victoria. What's up? Welcome back, everyone. Are we having fun today? Doesn't seem like much is happening. A couple of things to note quickly before we bring Mitch in. Bring Mitch here, like I said, about 5 minutes. Mitch is ready, waiting. Thanks, Mitch. Do check out Mitch Ray over at his channel, at Mitch Ray, the one and only Mitch Ray TA. Does a show every night of the week, and happy to have him on today. We'll talk about the lackluster environment, but hopefully be able to provide some insight onto opportunity, what we should be looking for, expecting going forward. Maybe it's not so great if you want to just buy and hold, but there are opportunities. Commodities, natural gas doing a big rebound today. Crude oil trying to go lower, but no thanks. No thank you. Just wants to keep rocking. So we'll get into all of that. I'm really, amazing that this is Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 92 already. We are here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, right around 12 noon is our official starting time. That's probably about the most time I can procrastinate each morning without creating a problem. So I can get it done by then. Let me just take care of the biz. So everyone that wasn't able to sign up on the basic membership, we got it fixed. No thanks to the Russians. But go to harmonictrader.com, let your harmonic pattern journey start there, become a basic member, and get with all these cool, amazing, free resources, especially the software, because everything we do is off the auto-generated algorithms. And then start your learning curve by diving into webinars, books, all free, available on that page. And then subscribe. So I make it free for a reason. The free trial to all the software if you want, and then get in there with a little knowledge after you've taken advantage of the free trial for a few weeks. Best way to go. So let's start with lovely Bitcoin, which, as Mitch would say, absolute nothing burger with no fries, no cheese, no milkshake, nothing. It is an ugly technical environment, and I'll watch some of I mentioned this the other day. I look at some of the influencers, Pompliano, Sailor. I stopped watching the Bit Crab, the Bit Boy. Guys got to get real. That guy Rob over at Digital Asset News, he's a good guy, but these folks need to take to heart that cycles and price action. I don't care about your adoption story, and I don't care about how good this will be in 10 years. I want to know where we're going to be in 3 to 6 months, and then figure it out. It doesn't do anyone good to tell me that in 2030, because of inflation, Bitcoin's going to 10 million. There is a guy who's still saying that, which is amazing. We got to do stuff. I think the market will learn that investable equities, investable instruments need to produce something. I believe in the end of all of this, much like we learned in the 2000 bear market, 2000 dot-com bust, you got to make money. You got to make things to be a business. Liquidity can only carry you so far, and I believe what you're looking at with Bitcoin. Beautiful crab pattern, by the way. We've been talking about this crab pattern for This is a very important day because this is day 31. Day 31, 30 bars here. Oh, wait, no, this is day 27. Day 30 is on the 12th. We're day 30 on the NASDAQ stuff, by the way. So, again, that window, we use the 30 bar window for basically all essential cycles or how to analyze any collection of price action. The 30 bar minimum, all that is it's a 30 sample size. It relates to the central limit theorem, where once you have a sample size of 30, you can expect normal distribution. It's just a simple mathematical theory approach to looking at statistical studies. And all trading is probabilities, by the way, as well. Mark Douglas would tell you that. Paula T. Webb would definitely tell you that. And you have to think in probabilities. The way I'm thinking in probabilities with crypto is that the probable cause of this 30-day dud, not to mention this important HSI bearish signal that generated on the daily chart last week, is going to cap any progress. We've been looking for 34,100 for a type 1 for a while. And that's your friendliest trend line you can draw. So even the trend line is about to fail. I said this on Tuesday. If you close under 29,000, forget about it. This will not even give you a type 1, and then eventually slide into the hop level at 20K. And this is just harmonic pattern framework. I know nothing about Bitcoin adoption. I know nothing about Bitcoin crypto technology, store of value, whatever else they're going to tell you. I know about price action. I know about zones, confirmation, harmonic patterns. And that's how I build my story so that I can make the assessments I need to make to know where to put my money. And I'm not putting my money, if anything, I said this on Tuesday, I think I have half a Bitcoin left and maybe one Ethereum somewhere that on principle, I'd probably just cover it, just close it out. Why go from, like the half of Bitcoin's now worth $15,000? Why let that go to 7, 8,000 when I can prevent it? No opportunity, no edge, no technical edge. That's something you hear a lot of people saying. I know Mitch is big on lining up baking the cake and putting all together your ingredients to have a situation that defines an opportunity. This defines sluggish harmonic pause, potential failing price action at an important point where we can't even do a type 1 reaction. Before I bring Mitch here in one more moment, Mitch, if you're listening, just give me 1 second. I'll bring you in, and we'll start you on this chart, which is total crypto market cap. And is that not as ugly as you can be? Folks, how are we doing? What do we do? What do you do with something like that? You do nothing, because even if you took your shot on the first leg down here, you're stopped out. I mean, your immediate reactions here, nothing. And that would be your accelerated trend line. Even if we were trying to do a friendly 45-degree primary uptrend, and that's something I talk about in my books. Check out volume 3 if you're looking for information on trend lines and management. But all harmonic patterns will exhibit a primary and an accelerated trend lines. And that's where, folks, this 45-degree trend line is almost over. And then you just come back down to the other side of the slope. Look, for me to get everybody to get super happy and excited about crypto and other trading, I would love to say, hey, big party here. Everything's going up. Just get on in. The adoption's going to come. Just hodl. Meanwhile, you go through a 50% drawdown, waiting like those lunatics Luna, unbelievable, for the miracle to save you. And in that time, you're wrecked, your capital gets snuffed out when you could be allocating to beautiful asset classes like natural gas, crude oil, others. One moment, one moment. All right, thank you. Still getting over this cold. Anyone else dealing with a cold? It's been 10 days. Something like got inside my body last week and doesn't want to leave. Anyway, let's bring the man himself into the call. Mr. Ray. Mitch Ray. Let me see what we're doing here. Hold on. Mitch, how are you? 1 second. Let me dial you in. Yep. Hold on. Can you hear me? Hey, Mitch, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Hold on. That should do it. How we doing?
Bueller? I guess. Yeah, hold on a sec.
One moment.
What
Let
in
me
the
know,
world?
Mitch, if you can hear me.
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Okay. I can hear you internally.
Oh, wait, you can hear me.
I can hear you. Say something. Oh, you're
I
you're on.
mean,
You're
I
on.
can hear you well. I just don't know if you can yeah, it seems like I'm good on the stream. But I
Yeah,
just
I think we're
did you
good.
say anything yet? Hello?
I can see you. Yep, you're saying stuff.
Oh my God, what's going on?
The
Let's see.
people in the chat can
That
hear you
should be
too.
good. I should be audible.
You are.
Crowbar says we're good, but I can't hear you, Scott. What's going on?
Check your speakers.
Hold on a sec. What the?
1 second while we work out the kinks.
That's so annoying. Hold on.
Let's check this. Let me make sure that,
Audio.
yeah,
That's
should be
the
good.
issue, maybe?
Sound is good. Low sound. Some people saying low sound. Let me turn you up then.
No, you're good. It was on the wrong output. I knew it. Figured that was the case, but I can hear you fine now.
Great.
I think you could hear me the whole time. So it was just on one side. But anyway, good to hear from you, man. Good to see you.
You too. Welcome back. Great to
Yeah,
get
you
back again. I think we needed a month. I think we needed to just like let this market just
marinate.
cut. Yeah, just marinate and do nothing. Marinate in a bag and do nothing.
It's
Absorb
not
the
a good
flavor.
thing because the prevailing impulse was a crash. So now you're just upsloping your consolidation, and that's really bad.
Even in the last
That's
couple of days, those two thrust moves,
oh God, man.
straight up, straight down, as you would say.
10% moves in like what is it? In in 10 days you had 5 10% moves and the price went nowhere. And that's just insane. I mean, it's like good luck trying to trade that like at all. You're just gonna get wiped out. I think that might be happening though. There's like this people are getting liquidated on both sides before the massive move.
Yeah, what do you think is more important at this moment, the total crypto market cap or the Bitcoin chart?
Well, I think Bitcoin's what I'm learning, I guess, being in this market so long is crypto or Bitcoin a lot of times can be a Rubik's Cube, but like Ethereum normally it's been telling the story. And yes, and what is that? I mean, Total's going to take after Ethereum and the alts. It's kind of just a blend, right? It's just a bearish pennant, really, on Total, right? If you just anchored from the bottom to the top, it's you're nearing an apex, so resolution will be coming soon. But it's more neutral, right? It's weird. It's like you have a symmetrical triangle or pennant on Total, then Ethereum has a descending triangle, and then Bitcoin itself has a rising wedge. So all of those are consolidation structures that are just somewhat different than the other, but just based on doing this every day, staring at these charts and seeing like sometimes Bitcoin is really unpredictable or it's not really painting it. It's not giving us the edge, but Ethereum's giving us the edge. Ethereum's the one that is like kind of telling you, and Ethereum's terrible. There's distribution with a buy wall. Um, if history's gonna repeat itself, where Ethereum tells the story as the canary in the coal mine, if you will, it's not good. I mean, it doesn't look good at all. It looks terrible, actually. So, what about you? I mean, what do you think?
I think if Ethereum fails, that's the end of it. I think if Ethereum fails, all of the big numbers go down. You go to full
Oh yeah,
886s.
which is rough, really
Yeah, I
rough.
just traced out this, I connect the dots on this little Ethereum daily pattern. We do kind of have a bat, but it's not even
Yep.
30 days, which is, again, the reason why we do 30 days is because if we treat all price action as like a data set every day, every bar is a better way to say it, is an individual set of data. Any science majors that are in here would tell you, or especially statistical and PhDs would tell you that you need 30 sets of data to expect normal distribution, normal action. You can't really is one of the things about patterns where people draw patterns all over the place, but if you don't have minimum 30 bars, you can't expect a normal type 1 type 2 framework to unfold even though this did. And then you go to Ethereum, we're day 29, 30
Yep.
tomorrow, that when we get past that 30 bar and you fail, it loses its mojo. And that's when, we take out, like, to me, what this kind of looks like in development is that 886 did give you this little type 1 move. But what it seems that it'll morph into is go to the bat,
The
into a
crab.
deep crab where to finish this sucker off, minimum 1618.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that
Oh,
1420 maybe?
exactly.
God, it'd be like TH Tetris. Let's see. Yeah, my God, it lines up so perfectly. God, it is. That's the next support. Wow. Good figure, right? That's
Yeah, and
the
I think,
support. I
yeah,
see.
from a harmonic perspective too, what I want to see at the low is a 1618 washout or major divergence down to a 2.0, something like that, which this you don't end a correction with this garbage that we currently have,
Mm-hmm.
just languishing, going sideways, and then look, that is I still say one major bearish candle down from being the dagger nail in the coffin for all your hope in Ethereum, and then something else that I think everyone can draw a trend line. Everyone can draw, if you're day one TA person, just draw your trend lines. Tell me where you are under or beyond, or which way is that trend line going. And it's still lower if you even would take the slope, a very generous slope. It puts you until July or more until you could even break out of that if you continue to go sideways.
Yeah, really, it'd take forever.
And I look at the individual bars, just nothing. Even if that was a type 1, type 2 framework coming about, your type 2, nothing. I mean, just I don't know. It is not. You're not there, and I'm not. I think it's there's even some of the indicators on the daily where
Yeah,
say,
terrible, man. Like the MACD histogram, like all this positive momentum, and no one's buying anything. Literally, no one's buying anything. I
it,
just that looks awful. That's almost like I don't know. You can't say hidden bearish divergence because it's not, but it almost is. God, it's just I don't know. It's just like, look, man, you have impulses, you have crashes down, and then you go through consolidation phases, and that's like the argument. It's like, are you going to V-shape here and completely, like the COVID crash? I mean, there was a V-shaped recovery. It doesn't all in 2018 there was a V-shaped recovery, but that doesn't always happen. And that certainly has not happened. I mean, we've just now went through a 3 week period plus that has indicated that the Bulls had their opportunity and there's not enough of them, not even close, right? I mean, that's what happens. I mean, when you go through reflexive rallies or consolidation periods, it's the opposite side of the argument, and that side of the argument, which is the bullish side, is just no one's there, no one, dude. And you're sitting at these critical supports like on Ethereum, for instance, 14 or 1730 or whatever. And anytime you tested that back in last year, summer last year, right around this time, the type of violent bounces you got were unbelievable. I'm talking where you were going up like minimum 41% minimum, dude. There was never a time where Ethereum didn't go up that much after hitting this level. And now we're just sitting here hugging this support. And every time we touch that level, that 1730 level, we rally and then we sell off again, hit it again, and then rally, and then even lower highs. Just complete amounts of distribution going on here. So it's just, even if it rallied, how in the F could you present some sort of bullish argument? That's crazy, dude, for the short term anyway.
No.
And rant.
If you were hoping that it was like last year, I think that story's going to get squashed very soon because that's going back to May, June of a year ago. At least you did 30 bars. You had a 30 bar consolidation, and then you did your type 1, type 2 on this little segment. Can't really see it, but it is a bat pattern that was just languishing. It looks like this. Maybe it's probably even better
Oh,
as a
that
Gartley.
Gartley, so good. Big one had it too.
Yeah.
God, they performed so well.
So that would be your
Yeah.
786. But this is different because there is no reaction. You don't have enough bars. You don't have enough candles. You haven't, the difference also from a year ago is look, you violated your downtrend and then you went. You back tested it and then you took off. This is, like we said, better part of 30 days or, a couple more weeks till we can get past that downtrend line. And you're scraping the edge here. 1680 is, that's new lows. So I think it's, it's something where I want to look for opportunities. I don't want to be a total bummer and say, hey, there's nothing here to look at. But the possibilities, I mean, all opportunities start with identifying your possibilities. And these possibilities they're just not very enticing for a bullish argument. If anything, you languish here and then you fail by definition. It's, continuation.
Yeah, and then I mean, just saying like you could go look at I mean, you pick a random altcoin, most likely it looks like it's about to collapse again. I mean, just it's terrible, dude. Like there's so many like bear flags on so many of these altcoins. There's so many assets that have broken key levels and have rallied because Bitcoin rallied and are just back testing those old levels that should have been support are now resistances. Uh, that's again like those are forms of confirmation to market participants that more or lower prices coming. But it's not like certain or anything. But my God, dude, it's you know like it's coming after a crash, and like KSM or God, I mean just SNX
A
or
lot of people talking about that KSM. I have no idea what
so
that
bad.
is, but
It's
let's
just
look at
who
that one.
cares? Who even cares what it is, dude? It's so bad.
KSM Kusama, is that what it is?
I don't know. Yes, I mean it doesn't say, but yeah, KSM. I'm sure. I'm sure it's Kusama. Yeah,
All right, the software's
might as
picking
well
up a
say.
couple nice patterns. I mean, a beautiful bat pattern at 492 bearish, but and since then straight down for a nice 80, almost 95, 90% correction. That if I'm looking at any of this, if this is a trade, it's this has got hop level written all over it. By the way, for the person that asked, hop means harmonic optimal price. There's the terminal bar of the first test of the 1618 and then rolled over right in the front of that HSI. Just all reactions, and then the reactions led to nothing, if not worse, to where hop level on KSM is $20, and even though you're trading 67, 68, is nothing to stop that from happening. And I would not. It's not. It just reminds me a lot of a lot of busted stocks from the .com era that a year before you would have dreamed to get that opportunity, but then you're in a different environment and you just have to wait. You have to be patient until the whole thing bleeds out. And it's that's where I think just accepting it, being patient with it. Sure, Bitcoin will give you another opportunity down the line, but not here, and not until you get some clear elements to come together that would suggest, okay, money's going to flow back into those. I agree that, yeah, Ethereum and Bitcoin would have to be the two where people would want to go before these S coins do anything. And if we're measuring, which is how I live by measuring, I don't, until we come deeper into these zones and do more of a washout, that's where I would look for opportunity. It's just what's going on. I don't know if you've got anything else maybe that might really clarify that point, but um,
God, man, there's just like Neo is one that's just bear flagging such strong bearish consolidation since May 12th. I mean, it is well confined within the parameters of this little bear flag. I mean, I'll just send you a little screenshot, you can see it. It's just look at that on the 4 hour, like that's just wow. It's just ugly.
let me bring that up. I'll bring up Mitch's chart. Hang on a second. Here's what Mitch sent me. Little bear flag on Neo.
Yeah, it's just ugly. Yeah, you're looking at CHZ too. It's gross.
Yeah, Chili's, and I still holding some of that around 11.80 and popped up to 13 and did and right back. And I've been talking about that to my crew. Just that I'm about ready to scratch that. Scratch it. Talk to me in 6 months or talk to me in 2023 or 24. All of my crude plays, the crude oil, that's working. And maybe those some of those crude stocks and plays are the crypto of 2022, but the rest of it, no, not so much. It's Neo's got look. This is the problem for me. Neo's got a beautiful hop level off the shark, basically type two, where you're down there at 925. This traded. What was that all-time high? That is amazing. How many bag holders of that are above 100?
Dude, 185, one like almost $200 was this all-time high from 2018 or 2017, and it never, it went to where, I mean, I guess what was it this cycle? I guess it was like $28. Dude, that was it? Really? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong chart. My God. Sorry. What did Neo get to this past cycle?
140, but you were right. It got to 180 and 18, and then went to
Shit, dude.
$4,
Yeah.
back to 140, and then now 12. Why not go to 5? Why not go to 4
Easily
again
could.
on a one-to-one kind of a move? Um, and that's can be even more grinding than being a bag holder at 100 because you're thinking it's deeply oversold when it's not. Where's your 886 has failed. 886 on Neo is about $18 and you do nothing.
Yeah, nothing, man. And a lot of them have like exceeded their 886s and are just doing nothing.
Yeah, here's
Um,
another one is Matic and another beautiful. Hey, on the FTX exchange, we have a shark pattern, but no follow through. Maybe a bullish candle this week trying to develop, but that would be the first one in 11 weeks. And I think an easy way for everyone who's wanting to get into crypto, you're wanting to buy on the down low here, you have to break these trend lines. Much like you did back here, like I said, a lot of them a year ago broke their downtrend after peaking out in May, bottomed out in July, and then they broke out to where you gave you something you could sink your teeth into. Here, no, I'm not. I would say your terminal bar or even your 113 puts you at 47, as low as maybe 32 cents here, which why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking 30 cents. Yeah, it's like 30 to 43 cents minimum. I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but if you measure it, it's a minimum 30% downside to 52% downside. That's insane. I mean, that's insane losses, so it's just because there's no support looking left really. Where this consolidation's happening, you're below 69 cents, which is a wick low from May 4th of last year and a candle low close from July last year right before it bottomed. And you're below that and you back tested that level as resistance now. And you're just sitting there. No one's buying it, man. No one's buying any of this crap. I mean, granted, someone's buying Chainlink and someone's trying to buy Theta and they're presenting like potential inverse head and shoulders and stuff. Okay, there's a couple in the H&T. There are a couple where bids are coming in because they're breaking key levels. That's great. But again, we're talking about the collective here. Collective is wow, dude. What happened to Band? Band's up like 36% right now. It was bear flagging too, and it
Let's
just,
see it.
jeez, man, what happened?
Let's see, band. Someone saying,
This must have just happened. Like,
ooh, up 35%. Well,
yeah,
we
just squeezing.
we have a big bat pattern. You're at an all-time 886. That's a weekly. Band did give you a bullish HSI where you're at least responding for the first time, but again with Band, let it at least show itself for what it is. This is a little bit better to the right of its downtrend, but you would want to see, first of all, I would think there's plenty of time in any of these that do that, but you need to bust that downtrend in Band, where this is definitely a great case of wanting to line up your stuff, wanting to be thinking there's opportunity down here, but you're well below 886 all time. You did just trigger some kind of minimum confirmation on HSI. That's okay, but I would want to let that do a couple of days. Like come up, get to the right here in 2 or 3 weeks, and then come back down. That's why I think trying
Yeah,
to buy it in this hole is a difficult proposition because you're really going to take downtrend, drawdown if you're underneath your trend line. 886 even is it's way busted out. 886 is like 220. You're not even there yet.
yeah. So I mean, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, there's like weekly classic bullish divergence developing too. But yeah, I just figure on S coins like this, man, it's not going to take much to move them because they've just been so beaten down. But I don't know. After being so beaten down, they're sure as heck not showing good looking structures right now. So
Yeah, I'd want to
cool.
see a couple days or a week or two of something that then gets that off the out of the bottom, out of the low. But I still say everything's probably a 1 2 day reaction, like Bitcoin did. Uh, Here's basic attention token, which has got a nice pattern, trying to stabilize. This is the other one. This one's actually a little bit better because you do have amp RSI. This is my amplified RSI. Standard RSI is a little lagging, but you're for the first time above the 50 zone. And my HSI indicator, at least that's trying to trend above the 50 zone, but price is kind of a dud. And that harmonic pause, if you will, doing nothing, going sideways, will typically require another signal before it triggers a larger move. I like BAT. It actually does something. There is something behind it. It's not just,
Mhm.
as you say, a beanie baby, but still got to get to the right of that downtrend, even off the pattern.
The issue is like it doesn't even matter. Like it's a crypto, and it doesn't matter if it has use case. I mean, like because right, look at the price, man. If it really mattered, then it wouldn't be down so much. I mean, Just because something maybe has use case in the crypto space doesn't mean you can't lose half your money, by owning the asset. So, I mean, I own BAT just because the whole Brave browser thing, and I'll never sell it. But it's below 47 and 44 cents, which is, if you look left on the weekly, mother of God, that's everything. I mean, like above that, you could go to 88 to 92 cents, but you're below it right now, and you're not, no one's buying it really right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Oh,
just
there you
think
go.
Yeah, I think the argument for use case in crypto doesn't matter because what we've learned is even if it does, it's just going to follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin has use case. It has the probably the best use case, individual sovereignty. But if it goes down, it doesn't matter because all these altcoins with this supposed use case are going down too, and they're going to lose 88 plus percent of their value. I mean, from the bottom to the top. I mean, what happened? BAT literally reacted at an 886, which is at 31 cents. It reacted there, and it's just consolidating now after reacting and doing nothing. And it's below key levels, which is also bad. Yikes.
Yeah, that 886, even off of that low, is around 40 off. The all time is probably where you were saying, off the 2021 low. It's about
Yep.
a little touch above where it is now. And
Yeah, I did the COVID crash low for my inquiry.
yeah, definitely. There you go.
It was that wick though, that May 12th wick literally touched the 886, and we haven't seen it again since.
There's your 886. You're right, 30 cents.
Perfect touch. But I mean,
Perfect.
God, Bitcoin, if you remember, Bitcoin did the same thing way back. Bitcoin hit the 886 January 23rd from the previous major low, and then it consolidated for, my God, months before crashing again and making a lower low. So yeah, you hit these 886s, and then a couple months can go by after it reacts there, and then the downtrend continues later.
There she is. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a psychological defense of 30,000, 11 weeks down. Where do we close? Where do you think we close on the week? You think this thing can
Dude,
do
man,
anything comparative to last week?
I have no idea. I mean, it's just like you could be starting to show bullish evidence in the weekly. You're at a key support. I mean, you went straight from 39K, 40K straight to 30K. I mean, I can't be surprised either way. Like if some sort of rally occurred here, this is the level where it normally would, right? If it was going to be here. If it's not here, it wouldn't be anywhere until like 20K or whatever. But the way the consolidation looks on like the 4 hour and the daily on the Bitcoin futures chart, it leads me to believe that we're getting ready to go lower again, even if it's going to be an 886, like 26K or whatever for like a shark now, right? It would turn into a shark on the 4 hour, Bitcoin. X being May 12th's low, and then a 113 on C, then an 886 on D, which is like what, 26,138 or so, you know.
On the
I mean,
futures?
even it doesn't spot or future. They're both presenting the same potential shark pattern. And so that's what I'm saying is like it seems like you're setting up for that, but hey man, of course Bitcoin could do anything it wants. And if that ever failed, then yeah, Bitcoin would be going down to like 21K, which is a 1618. Well, I don't know. I mean, a 113 first because it's a shark, so 24.4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh,
But yeah,
okay, I get it. Yeah, I think I see what, that's actually a really good anticipation there.
yeah, you've just now completed your higher high on C, which was May 31st, June 1st.
Something like this, I think, would be a good one to reference where you come down 1618, 1.0. Yeah, you're 113, like you said. Yeah, get you the 25, 24 level, and I think this is kind of an extended check back, extended retest of the initial support.
Mm-hmm.
Retesting 25 and 727 is, probably not too crazy, if not a full rollover back down to as low as the hop. I think 20K is going to really get into everyone's mind once you break. I think it's a close under 29K, and this thing is done. This pause, consolidation, whatever you will give you. real problems and accelerate, we need that close. A couple times they tried, and especially that big thrust candle from 10 days ago. It was the end of May. Right there, that candle. No follow through on this candle, which was the 30th, a little end of the month bump, and which we saw in March too. Notice a little end of the month recovery rally, and then nothing. This is starting off. June is starting off a lot like April did, and then we get put your levels together. A retest of the bigger pattern would not be surprising. And let's go back. Actually, end of March is kind of like this. There's end of March into April, and hit a little thrust rally into the end of the month, triggered HSI, and then we're rolling over again, and we're doing the same pattern of signals, sequence of signals. And even Bitcoin, we were looking at that. We knew it would come back, maybe back test 40K, 38K. But once that really cracked 37 and then continued lower, it just became really a market without hope. You had to throw away the hopium and say, look, this languishing action all in here, and then you come down. It was a 618 off the low, and you just continue to go sideways. And one way to look at this, which I think helps, is just scratch it over to the right and look at candle by candle. Very frustrating waiting time, watching time of doing nothing, going sideways over here on that retest of 40. Hey, maybe 40 will be support, but nope. You thrust up, roll over, and just a couple of candles at all is all it takes. And I think that's the same deal here. 1, 2, 3 days of a breakdown and follow through will trigger the rest of the continuation. And that's, for me, the long term, I think monthly is probably the only thing you really need to watch out for, because those monthly levels and monthly bars, if we are really doing what we're doing, which is a bear market move, every
Yep.
month from here,
Unfortunately.
we'll see new lows, lower highs, especially with in my opinion, the lower high when you're in that downtrend, an inability to take out a prior high is maybe more significant than even continuing lower, because it just indicates more weakness. And we've seen that here on the monthly chart of BTC of how many months since the peak back in November. We have not certainly haven't closed above a prior high, and we haven't really even violated a prior high even in this
Yeah,
sideways
we made our
move.
lowest monthly close since 2020. Just the last monthly candle. It took out the lows from summer of last year, like where traders settled up and stuff.
Exactly. That's really important too.
It's like a
That
continuation candle, kind of. And,
I
and it confirmed the monthly bearish engulfing candle right before, because it's not about the bearish engulfing candle itself, right? It's about the follow through. We got follow through, as you can see, right?
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think the close from last month, the fact that you haven't even rallied above the prior month's close, again,
God.
every little piece of evidence that says we're still in a serial month over month, bar over bar continuation that doesn't, it's come back next month. Because even at this point, I would want to see a bullish monthly candle, which is still 3 weeks away, until I would even be happy that this is trying to stabilize. And that's, for me, I'm more inclined to think that these lows from 21, last a year ago, are severely being threatened. A close under that last summer low, under any close under 30,000, I think would do it. And on the monthly basis, we take it back and as I was saying before, I would want to see a 1618, whatever, wherever it comes, daily, weekly, monthly. Give me a 1618 to the downside structurally, and that 1618 on the monthly gets you an insane like
Oh
2500.
God.
Not saying that that's what's going to
Jeez.
happen, okay, because we could even be in just a BC 1618, but all these throwdown moves, all these throwdown possibilities, even a 1618 off the BC leg. Let's say that it's not a butterfly, but even if it was, your 1618, come on, off that BC is
No way, man.
25,000.
Good God. That'd be crazy. I don't know. I'm thinking more of an 886 from the, 3150 low, which is what, like 14K or something?
All time. I mean, yeah, I think you have a number of arguments where your 886, if we try to go off of some all time lows, or even be real generous and say, let's go off the COVID low and let's
Mm-hmm.
just do an 886 off of the COVID low. And that, again, that's around 12.5.
Shoot, dude, that's not the COVID low right there, is it?
Yeah,
It's the
March 20 right there.
oh, okay. Yeah, I think it might be
Oh, that
delayed a
you're a
little.
little, yeah, a little delayed. I see that. And
Oh yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
that would make sense. That we've had it before. I was talking about this on Tuesday of the fact that
Well, okay.
you go
13.
you go back to 2017 where we had those beautiful patterns, the super bullish signals of Bitcoin giving you back-to-back bat patterns that were retested. You came back, you did a full harmonic reset back at 886 on in 2020, excuse me, January 21st of 19, and then you went sideways for the better part of, I don't know, 2 months or 3 months, but you got something and you stopped going down. This one,
Yeah.
there's no pattern. Let me clean this up, but I would prefer, just from a fundamental empirical basis, show me a pattern. Show me, we have a pattern on the daily, but I would love one more so on the weekly. And then by definition, I know if we got to an 886, which is 12K, 14K, depending on where you want to anchor, by definition would be a better spot for the opportunity. This is just connecting dots here. I like that. Again, I do not. I don't want to be overly bearish. I don't want to wreck the crypto party. But this one technique of connecting dots, no matter, and time again, when these do get 4 of the 5 points, you get your bat action magnet move. You get the
Yeah, that's true
breakdown,
if you break B. Yeah.
which is already there. There's the B point breakdown from about a month, 2 months ago.
Well, some could argue that 30K is the B point too, right? Kind of.
30,
Because you get, yeah, because like you said, X is the same, and then A is like the 65K peak, then B would be 30K, and then C would be your 69K peak or something.
but that would give you a shark.
Yeah, but it's same 886 though. But
Yeah,
I'm
same.
saying like BAMM in regards to that action magnet move, you're
True.
right at it.
The thing Mitch is pointing out here is that if we go off of this prior high for Bitcoin at 66 down to 30, then back up to 69, which is massive failed uh, divergence, 113 shakeout, that then you get 886. The only thing with your BC is not a 1618, which is one of the things that I find accompanies the 886 well with the shark. And as I was trying to trace out before, that 1618 actually takes you to levels that are real deep. I mean, that those levels take you to like 5500. That, let's see what happens here, because we
Crazy.
know It's only going to take one candle, one breakdown move that would get you something much larger than where we are. And those possibilities are, again, there's nothing underneath there that other than I feel 886, much like what we did back here in these two cycles, that once you've had four of the 5 points, there's go start X there and go to X to A to B, C, and then down. Well, your BAM phenomenon broke down. Basically, it was around 10.5, and you spent the better part of a few months vacillating up and down against that. But then once it took into effect, the rollover breakdown series of higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, got you there in a real grind. And then even if we're trying to draw, some kind of downtrend that can contain all of that price action, there was really nothing there that until it materialized into a bat pattern, nothing. And that's
Yeah, well, in actuality, it was more like a descending triangle there before it broke down to make that 886.
yeah,
It was a massive. I remember covering it. It was just ugly, dude. There was like a base of buying and distribution. Kind of like what Ethereum's doing right now.
yeah, I agree with that. So this chart from 17, 18 is kind of like Ethereum now, and Ethereum would be pretty much like walking the plank right here when Bitcoin was at 6,000
Hmm.
on its way down to
Yeah.
35. Let's just jump over to ETH, where that shows the same kind of dynamic. At 1800 at the moment. Ethereum had another bat, just like the rest of them. But once it busted, I mean, once this B point is taken out, and that's something more and more I come back to with these structures, that it can be a delayed effect where you get the BAM breakdown, but it still takes the better part of a year or more to be realized. The only problem is that, if you're sitting there looking day over day for the opportunity, it can be real frustrating. You could jump on every little 10% move and say, oh, that's it. That's it.
Uh,
But no, it was
yeah.
47 weeks from the B point breakdown until the eventual low. And then we still went sideways. I
Wow.
mean, that's just
Like a year almost.
from the low, or at least even, well, there's the low. Even terminal bar was all the way back there. But the low until some kind of verifiable breakout, 75, 80 weeks, 85 weeks, which is, that would be I would love to see that. Eventually see a nice accumulation basing formation. And this has got all the right stuff where,
A monthly double bottom. It was incredible. Looked so good.
yep. And you broke out like in 2019, 2020, you were to the right of the downtrend channel. You had based out and had
Yep.
established support. So there was a lot there to go on. Probably not a lot of fun bouncing between 100 and 200, but that's what then got you going.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were washed out by that 90% reset, without a doubt. And so
Oh
why
man,
why
they
not again?
were. Oh, I think it needs to happen. My God, man, there were just so many scams, so much euphoria, so much stuff, so much retail. A lot of retail's out now, and I think yeah, you need to capitulate. You need to really kill this market. I mean, that's what happened last cycle and the cycle before. Even like 2013, 2014, they like you went longer consolidation period, a longer no trend range back then. So yeah, I feel like if the bubble popped and we're in a recession, it makes even more sense because, not once really has the Federal Reserve, not once has really crypto existed, Bitcoin itself has existed in a market conditions like this where the Federal Reserve's literally quantitative tightening. They're selling their assets, $85 billion a month now. So, um, money printer's always gone burr since the inception of Bitcoin. It really has. And money
Yes.
printer is not going burr, it's going, they're taking, pretty much taking money out of the system, liquidity out of the system now. So um it's going to be interesting to see that change in dynamic that people don't really, they're not thinking about, they're not talking about, but that's real. So I want to post to you just in the chat, like just saying, like there's this possibility is there, right, on Bitcoin futures where you could do this. People are going to think, oh, we're safe, everything's good, we're bullish now, right? As like, these altcoins maybe go up 10%, 15, 20%. Um, where, Bitcoin just stays irrational a little bit longer than everyone can stay solvent. And that, I mean, I think that would induce buying from retail and dumb money, and that would be exit liquidity for, larger market participants. And then we get the big move. Only after, though, rallying one more time. So that's just a possibility that would still give you full validity of this idea I have, or of what is there on the chart. Again, I just posted it to you in a DM.
Let me see it. Come over there.
I mean, like that could happen and nothing would change. But I think what would change is people. Like people would think that we're safe now. Everything's good.
What's that BTC? Yeah, that's Bitcoin.
Yeah, futures.
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
think
got that?
that
Was that
that's
that 200?
well, that's the S Neo. I posted another one right after.
Oh, this is
Yeah, right
Bitcoin
there.
futures, the one I'm posting
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Which that works with what I, been hoping for a while, which is at least off of this futures chart, a big move, type 1 reaction move, up to 34, 184 on the futures. There you go. By definition, then you get at least the first leg to get up to complete the reaction, and then I would want to come back for the confirmation and then go. That again, all of that's later this summer, but I don't, I have to start counting and have to start projecting here that squeezing the right side of the chart, the price will help me define the top and the low end, but the right side in terms of time, I always start the clock right post terminal bar, which is there from the 11th, and then 30 bars to the right. Tell me what's happening, and if it's not producing, and then it's a dud, well, you're going to have to require another signal, another confirmation variable that would help to confirm it. But even your RSI here, this is an amplified again. I'm showing on the bottom of the screen. Did manage. It formed a W complex structure, which sets up an RSI BAM, and it did go to the 50. But now, even to complete that confirmation, divergence, whatever it is, you have to come back down and do another retest. So, do we get there by hitting target 1 first, which would be ideal, or does this just slide and do kind of just roll back over for a 25,000 retest? It's sloppy. It's not in a spot where I would say, hey, that's an overwhelming advantage. I like what I see here, and I want to position versus I would need to see something better at this point. I would need to see another trigger, a minimum oversold trigger. Buy it when it's down,
Hmm.
not chasing it after just a ugly reactive move.
Yeah, I would
So
think like if it caught one more rally back to like the 33.5 or 34K area, and you were to hit the top of that rising wedge again, I mean, that might be a great short opportunity, like a low risk short opportunity. Um, but that hasn't happened yet. I mean, that's like hypothetical, and that I think that would cause the most pain because a lot of people now are just like, oh, I'm expecting it to dump now. And it's like, wait, what if it rallies one more time and then it makes you capitulate? on your conviction, and then you maybe you flip bullish, and you're flipping bullish as it's hitting the top of the rising wedge at 33, 4 or whatever. Perfect. That's typical, market price action and psychology and stuff. People buying high and then they would sell low after it dumps after hitting 33, 4 or whatever. So, um, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's out of the question that we could not rally one more time. I think we could, and altcoins could rally off of that too. Um, and that would, you know, because everything just looks like it's about to collapse, but it could rally one more time, and it's still going to be bearish. It's just not going to be bullish with this type of price action. You'd have to do something seismic, insane impulse candles like the Kathy Woods, Jack Dorsey, and Elon Musk conversation, July 21st of last year. It would have to be something like that in order for it to be real. Right now, it's just again, bearish consolidation. And it could remain bearishly consolidating and make a higher high soon. And it wouldn't be weird. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. And that was on the right side, folks, is Mitch's chart with his rising wedge and what he's looking for, which would be a nominal retest. And then on the left are my zones at 34, 184. And again, that fits what I would be looking for as well. Just a thrust up and then hit that. And then you get acceleration down. That's kind of been my call since completing the crab. But this sideways dud action,
God, yeah.
it
Just,
doesn't fit the bill for type 1 move.
yeah. So it's just kind of like if we get one more impulse up, maybe to those levels, we would get some resolution, right? I just think, I'm just thinking about like, I just remember in 2017, 2018, these same type of things happening. Like you consolidate and it looks like, oh, it's time to dump. So, oh, nope, you got to pump one more time. Like for a third time, we got to, hit inside these bearish consolidation structures. We got to, you know, I don't know, induce buying from scrubs like that to make people think it's over and we're going bullish again because we're back above support. But no, not really. So, God, there were so many of these in 2018. I mean, just almost countless rising wedges, bear flags, bear ciphers, bear sharks on the way down. Right? It would just be continuation harmonics. They're not even value harmonics. They're just like they present themselves after an impulse, and it's the wave structure, and then they collapse again. So it's just sometimes you'd have a combination of the bearish harmonic and then the rising wedge too, and it's bad. So I'm just thinking, what would cause the most pain here? One more
Michael
impulse
Saylor
up.
getting liquidated on his Bitcoin loans, his Bitcoin equity plays. That
Well,
is
he's tried to present or flex that won't happen till 3K or something or 2K. I mean, I think he realized that maybe people were gunning for him, and he had to publicly come out and say, no, 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 like it's not 22K, it's 23K, it's 2K, 3K, because we could do this. We could collateralize our Bitcoin, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't whatever. So sure, people are saying it's like there's no way until 2K or 3K. But I don't even know. Do I believe that? I no clue, man.
I've seen this happen before in other markets, other companies, high flying tech stocks where it's the never sell, this is the future, I'm with this, I'm in this forever. Then they get flushed out and the market takes them out. And I feel like this phase, this correction hasn't experienced that. It's more than a correction, it's a bear market. But, are we crypto winner? Crypto winner is probably a failure of these current lows. But fundamentally, if you want to see a market get exhausted to the downside, you would need to clean out. You need to kill some whales. You'd have to get some of these guys to capitulate out, give it up, and then get it down to unthinkable numbers. I mean, unthinkable now from here, and I think it is a point where people are thinking this is still a bargain or 30,000. Okay, it's 50% off its high. Wow, that's a deep retracement. No, I think for crypto, and it's proven itself many times, 886 is the big retracement, big cycle low.
Mhm.
Bitcoin's looking like it's trading more like a commodity, like cotton or nat gas, a lesser extent, maybe crude oil's better. But the cyclicality of it is undeniable, and you've got people underwater. You've got now. I mean, you've had people more
Most people are.
underwater than before, but you would need to get a real pain event, I feel, to reach that low, and that's not here.
Yeah, there's still way too much opium. Like, yeah, there's just so much. There's too much. We're going to 100K still into the year. Blah blah. I mean,
People are
you
saying
need
that.
to. We need. I mean, like, yeah, the institutions. I don't know. Some are. Yeah, I read. You're on Twitter. You see it. And it's like, what? Like,
Yeah, I did see some one bank with a J.P. Morgan or something came out
yeah, they're
next year,
saying like
2023.
Ethereum's still, yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe then, but whatever. I don't really even care about that. This stuff's so stupid. Like, okay, like you really know, dude. I mean, sure, long-term trend. Okay, let's throw a dart at a number and then post it. All right, pay us, I guess, right? I mean, that's what they do. Yeah, and anyway, so I think that if you want to see the capitulation like we saw at 3150 in 2018, yeah, we gotta go way lower. You gotta have people calling for, we're gonna be at like a low level, right? And then you gotta have people calling for like way lower than that. I mean, I just, again, I think it's more so like what's happening at this key level. Like you said, you were talking about a bargain at 30K. Well, we had a bargain at 30K last year, a 50% retrace. And guess what happened? You went for a second test of all-time highs 65.5 and you exceeded it. You up-thrusted through it and you confirmed the top was in. And now we're right back at the same bargain level, quote unquote. And the price action is holistically different than it was back in the summer of last year, even winter of last year. And yeah, I mean, 55% of all market participants in crypto or in Bitcoin, they bought in 2021. So yes, most are underwater, but I don't think they've experienced true pain. Like they're still, so those are children of summer. If you were gonna compare it to Game of Thrones, man, sweet child of summer, nothing of the bear markets. And this is,
There's
I mean,
last
it's been
summer.
bad, but
Yet another bullish deep crab pattern last summer. 30,000 was the number. And then this was actually, we're in a much better situation last summer with other alts and Ethereum still running. But you got into this consolidation zone. The thing that's different here is you got out of the zone at a minimum. You saw dramatic action, better
yeah.
volatility than you have currently.
Because there was liquidity in the market, and liquidity is gone, man. There's no more liquidity in this market, and and it's really a lot of it's gone in traditional markets and equities markets, like gone too. Like your dangerous levels of illiquidity.
Yeah, this is actually even on an individual price bar perspective. This is where you hit your first 1618. That was after the first top, and you slammed down there. But look, that one bar from 43,000 down to 30,000, 1 day or 2 day event, that's capitulation. I mean, that was 20 plus, 25% down in 48 hours. But then you totally rejected off of the 1618. You did a couple of retests. There was your confirmation that came in, and then you at least started to put in a bottom. Right there was confirmation. Um, and this is just to give you guys perspective. There you go. It was off of the 2021 low to high, and then that's more of a slam down corrective low, taking the next leg higher, which it did, and
It's a
now,
perfect fake out, legendary fake out.
yeah.
July 20th, yeah, was the fake out day. The 21st was the bamboozle rejection reversal.
And even if you were late, look, you take your steepest. There's your primary. Here's your accelerated into the zone. Okay,
Beautiful falling wedge right there.
even if you were late to that party, you still had over to the right here. No matter how long it takes, to the right there is where at least you know you're no longer under the weight of the downtrend. no matter what happened in terms of not blasting to 100,000 up here, at least around 40K
The back
after that
test.
downtrend, you had something to help you to the right side versus where we are
Yep.
now.
Man, you had so much going on right there, dude. It was unbelievable. It was like you were going into like the second strongest month ever for crypto, which was like October. You had the falling wedge. You had the successful back test of the resistance as support, and it was a falling wedge. I mean, that falling wedge pattern was legendary, man. It was like I remember we were literally going back to those streams talking about what could happen on a new month, and like October 1st, the beginning of the new month in Universal Time, in the first like 8 hours, you Bitcoin was up 10 to 12%. It was crazy, and then you went to 69K from there. It was incredible. But the issue is, right, that falling wedge, right there where your mouse cursor is, like that
Yep.
was the apex. You flip the chart over on Bitcoin, it looks like that. Bitcoin looks just like that right now. Inversed though, unfortunately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that consolidation that you saw is now the other way. It's like bearish consolidation.
Yep.
Sucks.
And here's your zone. I mean, compare that where you have massive swings off of that zone, a couple of massive 20+% bounces, and that's good action, good breathing behavior, if you will, of the price action versus this kind of scrunched nothing burger. It's a spam burger, if you will, just a couple of 10% moves, 5% moves, but no follow through there, no major action to get you going. And I just want to, I want to stay true to what this tells us. And you need to see if you're a bull of any sort. What do you need? You need a 10% update. You need something to
Yeah,
happen. And that still won't get you out of the woods, but
not even close.
it would take you a little further away from walking the plank and the edge here, the true make or break edge, which you're continuing to just threaten without continuation.
Yeah, no one's buying. Like, not really. I mean, maybe rally, but no one's buying right now, and most of these altcoins, no one's buying either. Now, there are a couple technical bullish breakouts going on right now, and that's always going to happen during Bitcoin consolidation periods, because there's such small market caps and so easy to move the price. But once Bitcoin decides it's move again, doesn't matter what they're doing, they're all just going to plummet. Bitcoin plummets. So yeah, and it's that Bitcoin dominance chart, man. You looked at that lately, or
No, let's go
because
over
that
that.
thing, man. I mean, that talk about sharks and harmonics, dude. It did that. It did what the DXY did, like a 1,200 day large shark pattern. And after 1,200 days of consolidation or of the harmonic being painted, you have another year of sideways price action
What's
up to
that
this
chart?
date.
Dot D.
Yeah, dot D. And I mean, if you think this is going to 53%, that's probably terrible for Bitcoin and altcoins to the US dollar. Because that just means there's like, you want right at the lowest point of Bitcoin market dominance. That means I would think that people are more confident to have their money in the crypto space, right? So you'll be at 39, 40%. And like people are making yield because they know Bitcoin can't give you that double up, triple up, quintuple up, 1000x. But when market conditions go sour and they go bad, you'd see Bitcoin market cap dominance rallying because people are taking their money out of altcoins. They're taking it out of Bitcoin too, but they're just taking it out of altcoins at an accelerated rate, and that's what would make Bitcoin dominance rally in a downtrend, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's not if it's gonna take Bitcoin to get it going first, which it did. Bitcoin in 2020 really was what started it. And I guess you'd want to see Bitcoin lead it as well out of here. At least dominance is 47%, but you got a beautiful shark pattern out there, which should
Unreal.
get you to a 5-0
You
minimum.
know what it looks like? It looks like the DXY, the US dollar chart. Same freaking pattern. But guess what? The difference between this and the DXY has already gone to A and C and exceeded those two. So I'm talking like same size in terms of like days. Like I think the DXY was also like a 1,000, 1,200 day large shark. It was even prettier actually, but a little bit prettier. But this is gorgeous too,
DXY
man.
is a
Like,
hell of a chart.
but what if like, one's foreshadowing the other? I'm like, you got to think about where was in January 2018 and May of 2018, where was Bitcoin dominance? 35% and 39 to 40%. Okay, where are we now? And what was happening April 2018 all the way up to September 2018? Really bad stuff. So Bitcoin dominance rallied very hard, and that's what I'm thinking is going on. I mean, that's my thought process here, at least on this one.
Here's
It's kind of
DXY.
showing you what's up.
I'm posting DXY
Oh yeah,
chart.
it's crazy, man. And it called the bottom, or it like it. Anytime there was triple bullish divergence on the weekly on the DXY, it called cycle tops, and it did it again, man. Like I remember we were looking at it before it moved up, and it's like, hey, man, not saying this is going to happen, but when it does this, it does call cycle tops, and it seems like it did happen again for a third time. It's crazy.
Amazing. One the target one off that shark pattern. The monthlies around 106, 107. Let me see if what else we have here. Anything?
Yeah, that coffee went to me. I'm not go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, 2 seconds. All
Dollar
right. Okay.
index definitely a couple patterns popping that I guess that is, one of the fundamental drivers that will take a while is you'll need the dollar situation to chill out. And dollar continues to ride. We are in a type 2 off of this crab pattern. It looks like to me dollar index has to hit 106 and change, go to this hop level. Look, there's the crab, bearish crab down to target 1. That was a beaut. Now you're on your way back. So this whole dollar scene doesn't stop until you at least get to target 1. And where's HSI on this? Let's take a look. HSI is, bring this up, Harmonic Strength Index. There you go. All right, overbought, needs time. That's monthly. Weekly or daily is probably what I want to look at. Show me what happens on the daily when we hit 106.50. Yeah, you're see, this is the thing about dollar index too. Crew chat. We're after that correction from last month, which let a little air out of the tires. We come right back down for a bullish continuation signal. Bigger sound from me. All right, I could be also. I've got a massive storm here again. Let me turn up my. There you go. Better. Oh yeah, I'm low. My levels are low. Sorry about that. Thank you, Market Observer. Klaus, welcome, Klaus. Klaus says you will eat the bugs and be the happy. Yeah, no, we won't.
God, I'm back.
Great.
What happened?
No,
We have
the Klaus said,
World Economic Forum.
yeah, Klaus Schwab's in here, and he says we're gonna eat bugs and be happy. So
Are
it's,
we?
yeah, I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know.
I think they're doing a pretty good job. They're killing it, man. Unfortunately, like in a very sad way, they're like winning like hard. I mean, they control all these governments, man.
What happened to the Freemasons? Aren't they jealous about World Economic Forum? I would think Bilderberg and all those other guys would want a little more headlines. They don't want to be. I think Klaus Schwab wants to be the Darth Vader of the day, not
Yeah,
not these other
they're
guys.
okay. Yeah, the Bilderbergs was very quiet. It was very behind the scenes. They recently met. I mean, you talking about like I think like the Moderna CEO or Pfizer CEO and like the king of like the Netherlands were meeting. Dude, they're like there was someone trying to like get into the hotel. The hotel itself was fenced off with security, and people were just like trying to ask questions like, what's going on here? And the security's like, oh, we don't know. We're not allowed to talk about it and stuff. It's just really dystopic, weird stuff where you're not allowed to know about this meeting behind closed doors. But Davos is a little bit more open. But yeah, but over there in Europe, they don't care about free press. Um, they don't allow. I mean, they're starting not allow it really here anymore because they just the institutions that are in power just say, oh, other side that's saying something, it's disinformation, and we must ban it for your safety. That's starting to become the thing now. So anyway,
Yeah, it's
but
the one party world, no doubt. We are in the one party world, but hey, that's why we get together and do what we do. Basically, help navigate outside the mainstream media, mainstream propaganda, which it really is. I mean, let's not, we don't have to sugarcoat any of this. This
certainly
is,
is.
look, these people, they empowered themselves. The massive money printer, okay, that has gone on has made a lot of these people just increase the disparity to the point that they
Oh
need to
yeah,
control us plebes. And then we're the little fish in the big ocean, trying to, get the scraps that the sharks leave for us. And I think if everyone realizes that no matter what, and I'm talking even if you had $1 billion, you're still a nobody compared to the people that have
these
real money.
guys. Yeah,
And I think that's something that even I've heard, some tech guys say that, they thought they had a lot of money and then they met somebody that had 10 times their money. And it's, so what are we fighting for here? I think you got to fight for your own survival and fight for your own benefit. Kind of put a lot of this other stuff to the side because it's nothing any of us can do outside the 3 feet in front of us. But from the market perspective, hey, at least they let us play, and at least they let us
yeah.
have the opportunity to work from home, have the freedom that we have, which we do relative to a lot of other occupations. I will take all of that as positive, not agree with the fundamental garbage that's going down. Even this crude oil move is, as even though I'm thinking it's going to continue much, much higher, it's you have to understand this is being artificially manufactured and will continue to do so until we hit kind of a point of no return. I think on stuff like with crude oil, this could be resolved inside of 90 days if they really wanted to, but they don't.
But they don't. Yep. Well, this is the reason. I mean, it was long before Russia. It was right. It wasn't when Brandon got put in charge. He closed down the pipelines, and that's when energy prices began their ascent. Right. They were very mild up until he got put in office, and look at us now.
Let's label the
Beautiful.
chart. Here's December contract, which I think is, as a side note for folks that aren't looking at crude oil, or if you don't look at the exact contract months, I encourage you to take a look at them. Look at like December, look at June of next year. They're going to tell you everything you need to know. These are new contract highs after a sweeping move of higher highs and higher lows. This is a beautiful chart where the higher lows are actually even more indicative than the higher highs. They give you a stronger characteristic that this trend is not stopping anytime soon. And then let's just mark the point, the day where good old Bido got into office, and that would be right here, folks.
How
Crude
about
oil.
the day that he won the election, or a day or two after, because it was kind of like controversial, right?
I'll,
39-29.
I'll give him the day he gets into office because he could say, all right, I don't have anything to do with until I get into
Yeah, but
office.
the cycle, just like when Trump got elected, man, that's when the entire index fund ran around. It wasn't when he got sworn in. It was after he got elected in November of 2016 that all of tech, everything started to recover insanely. They were pricing in him getting sworn in, right? So that's just my opinion. I think it's when they get elected and it's confirmed pretty much like, oh yeah, there's no going back. So,
$40. $40, and we had there was this beautiful deep crab down there off of that last correction. Basically, 40 was the low, and $40 when he won the election. Won. Anyway,
122%
yeah,
increase.
but still, let's take it from $48, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll give him 50. I'll round it up for him to 50, but you're now double. And even when he shut down there was a Alaska lease he shut down just last month. And you're
hmm
shutting down leases. So this is where your policymakers influence markets, and until they can,
Hardcore.
the price will run.
Yeah, until something changes, which they're not willing to change. There's not going to be a change. That's what I'm saying. This leadership in the West is awful. Like I don't know. It's like I think going green's a luxury, but when you have people that can't afford anything, that might starve or lose their homes, then you can't be green. Really, you can't. You have to go to the fossil fuels till we figure it out. And as we're just not there yet. It's just overly ambitious policymakers. It's almost like Greta Thunberg is in charge here in doing this stuff. Like unbelievable, like really irresponsible, and people are going to die because of it. And not maybe not in America. There's going to be social upheaval in the West and in first world countries, but I think people will die in third world underdeveloped countries. Because I mean, what's the whole push? Push going to electric vehicles, a push alternative energy. But do you know how expensive it is? First off, not in first world countries, it's impossible in developing countries. Like they could never afford it. Because are they even making the alternative energy? No, God no, they're importing it. So it's like doubly expensive. So we have inflation now. I mean, it's just again, it's Greta Thunberg is in control here. I can't even believe it. It's like a 12-year-old kid making policy now. So
Well, I can give you firsthand experience of trying to go 100% green off the grid with the personal investment I did in my home to go solar entirely. And I actually have got, I don't know, 70, 65 panels on my roof. I've got a major battery system. Now, I was really lucky to do this right before the supply chain crisis because the project's probably costing double what it now costing double what it cost me. And the garbage that I had to go through to get this thing set up, and even when I was starting, a lot of people don't even realize that the rules that are in place don't even allow you to go 100% green. And this is going to blow people's mind. So when I set up my system, I said, look, I want 120% of my current use because I'm going to be using more and added some things to the house. And they said to me, well, by law, we take 3-month average of your utility bills, and we're only allowed to give you a system that can produce 90% of your amount. Meaning, I'm still going, even after I lay down a 6-figure system, okay, to get it all. And
hmm
when they told me that, I was like, what? And they said, well, after you're done the project, you can add more. And I said, well, isn't that more expensive, make it more difficult to go 100% green here? I'm about 90% green with the added electricity. I'm very happy that I've done it, but I realize that most people can't do that. And the cost that is entailed. I mean, I had my system blow up on me in the first 6 months, had to be replaced. So, and it's mostly Chinese panels, Chinese batteries, and you got to deal with all these headaches and took 6 months to install. So all these people that are talking about renewables and saying, oh, well, let's just go solar, or even all the stuff with wind, you're talking
so
at
expensive.
least a year, 2 years of it would be a major overhaul to get the thing even going. And then in my personal experience of what I went through to get mostly green, I'm still not there. And I'm still spending some money every month on electricity. It's all right. I'm very happy. I've always wanted to do it. I always believed that from when I was a little kid, I always thought, why aren't we going solar? Because of the energy crisis. And I was old enough to remember those days of how frustrating it was. And you had a lot of different things going on where it didn't make sense. Why would the price of oil or price of gasoline go from 25, 30 cents a gallon to $1.20 within a few years, which it did,
hmm
a
It's almost
4x
74.
move? Yeah, 74, 76. There was two of them. The one I really remember was like 77, 78. I was about 8 years old. And I remember it. I remember the odd even. I don't know if I've mentioned this a few times. Folks, go look it up. Go look at in this country, gas rationing was only 40 years ago, and it was odd even, and you couldn't get gas. I mean, you would take people would go fill up if it was their day, then they would take a couple extra tanks, uh, hand gallons with them, and fill up that way. It was insane. And then people were looking to Carter to fix it. And the guy just, he did some things. He did a lot of things more than Biden did, but people were still cursing at him because, like, look, you're not getting it done. And Biden's doing the opposite, which is to me really dangerous. Of
Causation.
Yeah, they are causing it. I mean, this is a plan. We look again. Here's where Biden went
Yeah,
into
he talked
office.
about the pain. He talks about the pain of transitioning. That's what he said.
There's where Biden
Yeah.
took office. Okay, and then where's the other one? Let's show you where. And this whole thing, this Putin price hike is that's annoying. That's annoying. There's where Putin went in and invaded. Okay, so you tell me how much of this is Putin? How much is that war? It's you're gonna lay blame. You're the president of the United States. You can't you're not allowed to make excuses. They yelled at Trump, and I'm not taking sides. I'm not. Look, I've said this before. I'm from Philadelphia. We saw Trump's antics down in Atlantic City. Basically financing 3, 4 casinos on junk bonds and was bankrupt within 7 years. All right. So and you don't have to like the guy, but at least the policy worked and the guy got us independent, which we hadn't been since the 30s. And I
Hmm.
think it's those kind of things where eventually there's going to be enough pain where people are like, I don't care about Twitter anymore. I care about filling up my tank and it costing $150. Or these people with pickup trucks that are spending 300, 400 to fill their tanks. Look, that
They
stuff.
still though the problem is indoctrination, man. Like sports team now, sports ball. Hey, left the blue team and the red team. They don't care. They'll actually starve to death, and you know you lose all your rights, and they'll still be like, oh, thank God no mean tweets on Twitter. Thank God for no inflammatory rhetoric. Okay, they don't care. Like that's what I'm saying. Like pure indoctrination, ideological subversion is complete. Everything's normalized now, so. I think people would rather starve and not be able to afford gas before they would still be like, "Dang man, things were better under that guy, even though he was not good in a lot of ways because again, is the way he talked, but again, the things he did gave us, and everything was fine before the COVID crash too. So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
rocking. I mean, it really was rocking. I look, there's you've got that stupid thing that's going to be on tonight. It's going to be so divisive, and it was a horrible thing, that January 6th thing. Terrible, especially with what they did to a guy like Mike Pence. And a lot of people think Mike Pence was a traitor. He was the vice president, and I think there's like a level of disrespect that guy was given, which is a shame. He's pretty straight up conservative guy, a typical conservative, if you will. I feel like they tried to throw him under the bus. So some of that stuff I don't like. But this other stuff where, like, hey, we've got much bigger problems and they've already jailed those people in solitary confinement for long enough that it's just a bad shit show. And that's what it is. It's really, and it doesn't care. They don't care. But for now, for what we need to do, we got to read that environment. We've got to, you basically have to set aside the emotion, go with where the money's flowing, which is, look, energy, crude oil, crude stocks, nat gas. Nat gas did a huge move today. It was down 30 cents and then came back plus, and I'm
yeah.
still looking for $15 handle eventually as the target for nat gas, maybe as high as 18, which is a double from here. So if we're in the middle of that, think about. I feel like it's like crypto, nat gas. There's your nat gas chart. Look, nat gas is doing the massive,
Ridiculous.
massive move.
4 hour bouncing off the 200 moving average again. So crazy.
There's nat gas in the four. Yeah, and again, that's that $8 handle starting to hold. That, and they're not going to push it. I think you're going to get to double-digit nat gas. You'll get all-time new highs on just from a larger basis on crude oil, which gets you above 150. And the interesting thing about it is that look at where gas is, all-time high prices on gas, and it's not this crude spot price is not at all-time new highs yet. That tells you that if once we do get to all-time new highs above 147 on crude oil, where does that take a gallon of gas? Eight,
Oh
nine,
my God,
$10?
man. Oh, yeah, for sure. More. I mean, way more in like bad places. Way more in Canada, Australia, and Europe. Like crazy.
Zero
Like, I mean,
finding.
it'd be 15. It'd be like 15 a gallon in most of those places. I'm
Here,
thinking they're already at 10 or 12. I mean, literally as of like a couple weeks ago, people in like New Zealand were talking about $12 gas. They're paying a liter, but it's the equivalence of a gallon, like $12 a gallon and stuff. So
yeah, this is here's ConocoPhillips. I'm just popping up a couple of the big ones.
yeah,
ExxonMobil
dude.
and
Valero,
Valero, ExxonMobil, and these are
Halliburton.
cheap historically too. Their valuations, it's not like these things are overpriced. Oof, I might lose you.
What happened? The
Let's go another
storm?
5 more minutes. I've got another mini hurricane blowing through Miami here, so I
Oh
think go
boy.
about 5 more minutes and wrap this up because I think I might even lose my internet with this kind of storm blowing through. But this is the thing I would be looking at. I've been thank God this is been one of the sectors I've been involved with that worked out. A year ago, I was saying cannabis, crypto, and crude oil. All right. Well, the crypto worked out until it didn't. Cannabis completely failed. Thank you, Biden. And crude oil making up for all the rest. And you're at all-time new highs on ExxonMobil. Here's Chevron monthly. Look at these charts. Massive, massive breakouts here.
So crazy, man. In less than 2 years, you know.
LNG,
Right.
liquid Shinari Energy, is a great one. That's your big LNG. You've got a couple things up here. Maybe we get a pause, but look, if this can't stop and we continue, if you see this thing accelerating into the summer, then you will get your 200, 250 a barrel on crude oil. And the nat gas chart, I think, is probably the most telling of all because of the massive patterns that were
Is it the
up.
1618 right now? LNG?
LNG is LNG is at a 1618, but this is I think you got to look at like spot nat gas futures that there's you've already broken out. There's nothing looking left until these 14, 15 handle patterns that are up there. Big 1618 that topped out at 2006. That was it. And then all the way back down. We've just been steady month over month, which we should be. I don't expect anything different. If we get like a 1 bar monthly reversal, okay, then I'll look for something more. But for now, we're still on that massive continuation that is, we're maybe
I mean,
halfway
like,
through.
I mean, like, what was going on back in like 2004 and 5 or whatever, and compared to now, I mean, like the macro conditions, there's no way that it was worse then than it is now, right?
Well, you had the Iraq War, you had Afghanistan, that were driving those fundamentally, especially Iraq. And then you had Katrina in 2004 on nat gas, which basically wiped out a whole bunch of refineries. The Louisiana port, the Houston area, which where most of it is concentrated. So that affected that with a whole bunch of other things going on. That just spelled a massive surge. And the thing is that in that 2000 move, which I would look for here, is you had a 1618 breakout, and you did not realize that massive peak until you went to a monthly 1618, which is pretty common for commodities. I think this current situation, when that gas, if you get up to 15 or even as high as this hop level at 18, look, those are unthinkable levels, but those are the only targets I have. It's tough to not say that with this kind of a breakout, and we've taken out the 10-year this little resistance here, which was $6 before, that's clearly gone. And we just shoot this gap up to
Yeah.
15. But we'll still take time. I'm looking for a capitulation move like Nat Gas did, where it was strong and straight up for about 4 or 5 months, maybe a 5, 6 month push higher.
Oh, it
And
happens. Yeah, historically.
yeah, and that was what, oh 05. Yeah, that was when things were getting bad. That was right before they had to bring in the surge in Iraq. Things were getting really nasty in Iraq, and so and then that was the pressure, or at least the fundamental pressure that was on it. But where we are now, up to this, at 9, waiting to crack 10, I think is what I want to see, and that would be, for me, that would be the definition of a capitulation top, or an exhaustion top move. But you're not exhausting until you get to these higher levels. So, yeah,
It's
I
true.
got to stay with it. You got to stay with it. So, well, Mitch, I'm going to cut it off here. I think about to lose my connection anyway, but we'll jump on tonight over at your channel
Sure. Yeah,
a
man.
little
We'll
bit.
do it.
You let me know, and everyone else, thank you for today. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mitch, for your input and insights as always. And folks, just
Likewise, man.
come together. Let's come together. Let's stay together, and let's hunker through, because that's how we succeed. And when the current's against you, you got to stay sharp. That's what we're doing here. So,
You
uh,
gotta stay in it, man. You can't just leave the markets. You can be out of the markets, but you want to be paying attention, at all times. That's why you watch these streams. So, I don't,
yeah,
because you'll miss the opportunity when it knocks.
jump on over to Mitch Ray TA over on YouTube tonight, folks, and we'll continue discussion. But again, thanks, Mitch. I'll see you tonight.
All right. God bless.
Take
Thanks, man.
care. Thank you, everybody else. Appreciate the time today, and we'll be back here on our Harmonic Pattern Podcast Monday. Do join me, folks, over at Harmonic Trader. That's the place to go. Get with the software. Please go to sign up. Become a basic member. That's where everything begins. Someone was asking, yes, there are 4 books. They're all available as free downloads on your basic members page, and then all the information to get your software and get set up are there. That's the best place to go. And again, if you're new to this, dive in with the free trials. Come on to our sessions Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at around 12 noon on the channel, and join Mitch over at his channel every night around 7 Eastern. He does harmonics, and he does really great integration of all technicals that I find is the best technical show on the web, period. So we'll catch you Monday, folks. Have a great one. Until then,